afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, Master of Propaganda, Hero of Sight, Defender of the Fatherland. We're off here to a exciting 1v1, the first one here of the new patch with the new commanders, and we got them right here, in fact, with both players, Heavy Cavalry and Firestorm. But here we got in the north, Pugnacious Penguin fighting for the United States of America for the 3rd Armored Division, going up here in the south against Fortune, fighting for the Oberkommando for the 17th SS Panzergrenadier-Division Götz von Berlichingen. And they both here gone for the new commanders. Bulletins are pretty much all for infantry. We got double rifleman there for Penguin, pushing sort of eastwards. We've got Fortune here, sort of Fortune to jump on here, at least so far. So right there, we've certainly got a bit of a different match ahead of us, at least potentially. What with the new commanders here chosen. Of course, the question is how far will they actually go in using their respective doctrines, how much will they utilize and why, and so on. But we got more forces along the way for Fortune, so going for more infantry. That we're sort of trying to get more territory as the Oberkommando West, not necessarily a lot of firepower. As Penguin's just going for a bunch of riflemen, at least so far, heading east and west for the glory of America. Meanwhile, their Fortune's actually pretty aggressively east. They're going for both sort of for the fuel point here. It looks like Penguin's just basically going to get this one easily without any real fight there then from Fortune. So this could get a bit interesting. There we got the Sturmpanzer advancing, Sturmgewehrs in hands. Quickly, schnell prepare and hold. How about some powered fire? No, I don't want to. It's too much work. Truck they're standing back so far. Nothing. Third force squad there on the way for Fortune so far, just playing with our infantry of the regular kind. No, say additional Sturmpanzers, maybe sort of push for something with a lot of Flammenwerfers rather taking up position there just to check if there's any krauts about. Third squad there on the way for Penguin. Of course, he can also pretty quickly lay down some mines here thanks to rifleman defensive structures, of course, being available right off the bat. So he just needs the munitions, then he can begin laying down mines to make things miserable here for Fortune. Further pushing through, there we go. First engagement, rifleman versus Sturmpanzers, holding up in an old, I don't know, shed of some kind. There we go, reactions there versus Sturmpanzers. Definitely having the upper hand there. Full squad there, number 3 arriving for the Oberkommando West. And there we go, we got the first mines down here for Pugnacious Penguin, quickly laying down some M5 mines there, modified to blow up some infantry. Most likely, obviously not like the other mine there for the M20. Away there are mines now on the field here.
Taking one of our points.
A rifleman setting up, full squad hanging about. Could be setting up here, could be planning now to go for maybe some Sturmpanzer, but there we go, sort of another engagement, there we go, going for the car point, which is actually right now a bit exposed to Fortune, pushing around hard for the east here, has left his car point rather exposed with no bar wide to be harder, and there we go, few upon there, the cut off there happening, Sturmpanzer not reacting so far, we got troops to those, slowly moving back here, while Fortune going for the point, rather than getting behind here. Fortune's Fortune is getting surrounded, getting dealt with in pretty aggressive detail. We got Sturmpanzer squad number 2 on the way here for Fortune. 4th squad of riflemen on the way for Pugnacious Penguin. The forces there beat a hasty retreat, forced to leave behind their dying comrades there in the dirt. Well, Fortune is moving up more infantry to counterattack and force back those armies. And here we go, we already got Penguin digging into the nearby factory, preparing to repel any German attackers to do his best to sort of hold that cut-off point. So well done there, well done there. The only thing that could make it better if he had some BAS out to the front, and that would make things even more difficult around here for Fortune. But there we go, second Sturmpanzer squad arriving. That means he's got 2 units now equipped to the Semitic Sturmgewehr, and of course with the option for down the road some Flammenwerfers.
The enemy is
Rather moving ahead there.
points.
Ready to attack the Sturmpanzer. He's got troops moving up here, so far no flamethrowers, doesn't quite have the command points for it. Sturmpanzer taking some minor losses, rather moving about there. Forces moving up here as well. Quite a bit of shooting here, rather than assault on flanks so quite around. There we go. Penguin takes sort of the consequence of it and pulls back very rapidly. Up in the base here, there's no tech up, no upgrades, at least as of yet. He's got access to smoke, but I mean, there's not really much reason at the moment calling a smoke barrage to sort of deal with anything. It's not like Fortune's already got a lot of machine guns down that creates some kind of strong point that Penguin needs to assault in glorious manner. Battle Group headquarters being selected for Fortune to provide support for his troops. Flammenwerfers are being available, we are seeing they're handed out. Ready to assault his armies with them. There you go, charging in. Takes that, you army bastards. Burn! Burn! Vedita, are you alright? Yeah, why are you asking? Oh, it's just, you seemed a bit sadistic. It's that flamethrower. You're just being silly. Alright, pushing forwards there. Also, looks like they might want to modify the model a bit once the flamethrower's there. Or perhaps there's someone else under there, not hard to say there. Oh wait, rather than engaging the Falcons, quick incendiary grenade there, rather than going to have to fall back. So a lot of incendiary goodness there for Fortune. Leading an assault detachment there from the 17th SS. The only SS division, by the way, to only exclusively fight on the Western Front. It never saw action on the Eastern Front. Fun fact there, by the way. Okay, was running a Fortune opposite word about vehicles there from Penguin, who has yet to take up, though. You'd be surprised. Looks like there we go, Captain on the way here for Penguin, getting ready with the bazookas, just in case, Fortune himself rushes out some vehicles. Then again, he might be planning some new pack houses, of course, slightly nerfed there. Or there might be something else there in Penguin's mind, that he's brewing some cunning plan to throw back the Krauts. Well, of course, I have to see what actually happens there. Steel pilots with Flammenwehr, other steel pilots bring about there. A2 attacks them up and laying down a mine, not bad in this case, of course, have to sort of halt it. And of course, that could certainly indicate to Fortune he might need to get some minesweepers up here. Rather than push back, losses piling up there, as they have to fall back there in the face of the SS Pioniere. And so a kid in their face here. Also, another fun fact about the 17th SS, it was generally not in division with the best and most impressive combat record. In fact, at several points, German High Command basically sort of went, maybe we should, hand over this equipment to better men, because these guys are actually kind of terrible. Or at least at times they were. So some fun details there. Rather than heading against the Volksgrenadiers, second squad moving up there. Third remaining in the base, but there we go. We got Penguin again pushing back here aggressively. Got the captain out here. Could be planning maybe a steward here. I mean, that could also work. Maybe could combine it then with the combined arms ability. Nope, going for the pack house there. Going to rush it. No. I mean, I'm seeing more players actually beginning to use the supervisor ability, but clearly Penguin is not one of those people that we're seeing. There goes. Still over the Flammenwerfer, and looks like he's upgrading a second squad as well. He's just really just upgrading them with as much assault capability to try and deal with Penguin's troops. And also make it hard for him to utilise cover. Force caught out in the open rather than engaging. M1 Garand singing out there. Force get caught out in the open, a pretty bad position there. We got the second truck moving back there, playing something there for Fortune. Perhaps he's spare punch at quarters. Up north, jumping there with the Flammenwerfer's up. Veterans E1. Getting off some kills. Almost right up the rear into the process. Truck doing nothing there. Overall, Penguin's keeping up the pressure well there. And of course, with the captain, the pack house, he should be able to add further pressure that way to Fortune, but he's got plenty of munitions. Of course, he might be planning for the Rangers. Of course, soon available here for him. For the manpower, can be upgraded with Thompsons, and then on top of that, they can be upgraded with an additional weapon from the weapon rack. In fact, Rangers can take 3 weapons from the weapon rack if you don't upgrade them with the Thompsons, which does open up for a few options. Say, for example, throwing on 3 BARs, if you're that kind of tricky bastard. Oh, he's still flanking around the corner, pretty bad position. Penguin's going to have to consider falling back here for his men actually face annihilation. I'm not, because he's not going to himself. He's pretty safe there in front of his computer. And there's Fortune somehow tampered with it and installed a bomb. There you go, pack house advancing, capture going in there for the fuel point, denying him precious fuel. Pack house doing it to support the frontline troops. Sadly, they've all pulled back. There's not really much there to support at the moment. There it goes to a light tank on the way for Penguin and the 3rd Armoured. Storm Pioneer is falling back, ready for some reinforcement, and looks like he's planning something with the truck. This is mechanized. Oh, it's the mechanized regiment here for Fortune. Interesting. Also got the Rangers now as an option here for Penguin. Elite assault infantry, sort of taking on harder tasks here and there. Organised into independent battalions to be attached wherever they were needed. Going there for the victory point in the east. Minesweeper men moving up there, and we got both Stormhunters, of course, getting upgraded with minesweepers as well, besides the flamethrowers, and of course they can put them away so they can overall ensure they don't suffer sort of a huge drop there in combat effectiveness. Mechanized Regiment all of a sudden here for Fortune. Overall bit of pushing here, both sides sort of aggressively pushing against the other, after against the Volksgrenadiers. No upgrades for the riflemen though. I mean, that definitely think a good choice there for Penguin. I mean, some grenades or BARs, or maybe a bazooka in reserve, or of course just calling up the Rangers But even then, the ability to upgrade the ranges further, we're saying maybe a BAR on top of the submachine guns or bazooka could be pretty handy. Rather than taking a pretty heavy hit from the light infantry shoots, both calling up their light artillery, both causing a bit more nerve to state. There you go, rather than with the Sturmpioneers, Flammen Werfers und Sturmgewehrs. The assault team moves in and the Americans are forced to abandon. Still moving up there, 37mm gun firing away, hoping to end the lives of some damn dirty crowds. He's also got access now to combined arms, which basically sort of buffs infantry and armor as long as they're together. I believe they both get increased line of sight, increased range. Maybe the infantry actually gains increased rate of fire. All the way, they get some pretty decent bonuses there. So of course, would be interesting if Penguin were to use it, or if he's planning to use range. There's no gun anti-tank on the way. He's really worried about Fortune getting vehicles or armor yet, but so far, of course, we yet seen any indication that Fortune might. I mean, he could go for Flak Half-Trick or Puma, but he isn't. So wondering here what Fortune's plan is. I'll wait for us to deal with the captain, but there he goes, Stewart to the rescue. The Germans can only shake their fists in anger as the captain escapes. I'm not entirely sure what he's playing there with the sandbags. I guess... Oh, I think he's somehow trying to trap the Stewart, cheeky little bastard. Yeah, he is. I haven't seen that one before. Go figure. Sure he's pulling it off, but somehow he is, but it's obviously not really having the effect though he really wants to. Also we got recruit also here now available for Fortune. Rather than like heading there for this is bad, Scheiße Dieter, we need to get out of here. No resource straight by ways for Fortune, so far it's looking like a bit of a question mark there, so actually why I went for the mechanized weapon. I mean so far he's utilising it as much as most American players utilise airborne. That is not much at all. Stormpire's moving up there, like there for getting off hitting the Stewart, but there you go. Assault coming up, need to perhaps put away the minesweepers there. Just a small suggestion. Large rifle assault here, if they hit BRs right now that would really be nasty. For an interesting using again, he's floating up munitions, he could go for BRs, he could also go for the range with Thompson, but so far neither is there, and that perhaps gives the Stormpires a bit more chance to do something with their Flammen Werfers. Got almost there eventually, two as well, so both close there to 22 run there out in the open. Getting burned by Scharfeuer Weber, and there we go. Pinned down like Kedner thanks to the pack howitzer. Nothing further going on the base of Fortune resource being built up. What is he planning? More Steel Pioneers maybe? Is he aiming up for the Flammhetzer? Or Flammpanzer? Hetzer. We'll of course have to see there. Meanwhile, we not got much further here from Penguin. Again, he's flooding resources, he's paying for the Pershing. I mean, he really would benefit though from using some of those munitions. So, there we go. We have the weapon racks. Splendid. Grab some BARs. The Fortune certainly suffering under the heavy assaults of Penguin. So far, no weapons are being handed out. He's got a lot of munitions there, and I'm also a bit interested in you not seeing any ranges being utilised so far. There you go, Academy flies against the Stewart, penetrate the frontal armour there quite easily. Stewart's weren't exactly heavily armoured, and there we go. We got the first BAR there handed out, though he's only upgrading with one at a time. He could easily double upgrade there. Then again, he mocked in, so there's one for every one before handing out extras. Forging in close there to hit command points. It's starting to seem like he's playing for the Flammheads, but even then, he doesn't need that much munition. It's 280, so in that sense, it's not exactly manpower intensive. It's more the fuel cost, which is much more exorbitant. He's not doing anything to try and offset it. But there we go. Now we got all rifle there equipped with at least one BAR. And we got the Flammpanzer heads out here. Nice little detail there with one of the wheels there, or road wheels on the side. Yeah, tiny little Flammhetzer there. 3D, in fact, is only slightly bigger than that in actuality. The in-game model, I think, is actually too big at the moment. Either way, Flammhetzer there out, and apparently can be upgraded with a Pindelmap machine gun. Seems a bit redundant for a flamethrower vehicle. Either way, he's charging in there. Burning armies, sure. Just pushing onwards. Rather recklessly, actually. There we go. Looks like someone managed a good hit there on the pack howitzer. Stewart there engaging, Flammhetzer needs to be careful. Flammhetzer needs to be careful. But basically, I think about only 20 of these were made. They're actually made not for the Ardennes, but actually a supporting operation, Operation Nordwind. little, or Unternehmen Nordwind specifically, fun little detail there. There was also one made with a 150mm gun, it was a 75mm gun. Otherwise, some were made with actually sort of a howitzer, sort of meant to function a bit like the Stu-42, but only one was made. Only one was ever made. Other of them being burnt, scorched, and singed here by the Flammhetzer. Jump on his need to fall back. And basically the heads was meant to support against the Maginot Line being held there by the Americans and the Frenchmen once more. There you go, Flammhetzer forced to fall back here under heavy fire there from the Americans. And burning away.
Enemy infantry! Enemy flanking us!
See what they're moving about. Captain under fire. Using an incendiary grenade here. Perhaps, perhaps not. Either way, getting to work the repairing. Of course, now the mechanized regiment finally gets to do something, which is actually repair the little thing here. If only they'd given us a proper hetzer. But can't have everything, at least not right away, I suppose. So far, nothing further here, but at least it's good here. They, upgrade his men. That certainly gives him, fortunately, a much harder time in actually doing anything really. Though he just keeps showing more faultiness at the bottom, which I don't think is going to work out. In particular, if Penguin here was to further upgrade his riflemen with Browning automatics, that definitely make things even more difficult for the Volksgun of years. They definitely not be cut out for that. He probably should be aiming for a schwer panzer quarters or flak half track or something else here besides the Flammhetzer. Still engaging. About 2,000 or so, 2,500 heads was actually made, and they were only basically made in the very last year of the war, that is 1944 to 45, so it's actually quite impressive how many they were able to push out so quickly, and good lord, that almost looks like an improvised mass grave there, just bodies piled up. So, Hank, why are we doing this? It's art. Oh god, not another one. Either way, still on their fall back, rather than about, we got if I came off their pill for the weight pack out to cleared up, but not recruit. Either way though, Penguin there just added to his anti-tank defences there. That's going to be things more difficult here for the Flammhetzer. So they're actually doing good work there. With it doing good work, we are seeing here thanks to the Flammhetzer. They're fortunately able to make sort of more focused pushes here against Penguin. Again, Penguin has to be a bit more careful now that he risks his men, being burned alive by this awesome little thing. I really like the heads, I do. It's my second favourite assault gun right after the Stu 3G. Buffering up there with the captain. Ready to assault the crap positions, push back the 17th SS. Forwards, men. We can do this. Yes, Captain Jones. Oh, we've got the Flammhunter moving up then, ready to burn some armies. We've got towards the Halter trying to sort of push back the Stuart and the rest. Did all right, I suppose. Nothing further. I mean, so far only gone for the flamethrowers and the Flammhetzer, so there's been nothing else really to utilise of his doctrine. So far, he's also gone for quite a few full guns beside the Steel Pioneers. Closing in eventually see there. No tag up here from Penguin. He's actually got plenty of resources. I'm guessing he's saying it, of course, for that M26 Pershing. I'm surprised it's not really, using anything else with the docks besides a single mine or two. I mean, there's been no smoke though. Then again, that's not going to up. So, no Rangers or, combined arms. It really boosts his troops around it. Steward, if he just uses it sort of properly. Plus, the Steward could fire from a safer distance as well. So, I mean, it would be an overall win-win situation there for Penguin if he were to utilise it. But go figure. There you go, Kenner's running up there for a nice position. Flammpanzer running up here as well. Forcing with the riflemen. Capturing out, he's going for another Kenner. What is Fortune planning, I wonder? There's been no sign of a Puma to at least maybe consider supporting his Flammpanzer and the likes. Schnauber's in a pretty bad position. Chaser. Nothing further here from Penguin. He seems to be playing straight here for the Pershing. There's been no sign of the Rangers so far. Kind of figure, but then again, I mean, the Riflemen are certainly pulling their weight there thanks to the extra BARs, but again, I do think you could upgrade with further. I mean, he's only upgrading one at a time. And again, double upgrading them would, basically further make them lethal when you double their firepower in that sense. That really make things difficult there for Fortune's troops. Okay, with need to escape here, the wrath of the captain. Got storms moving in, and there we go. Flam Panther moving up to support. Burning away. Wonder how that effect that will be. By the way, they actually sort of it's not total rounds for the MD-34. That fight, notably less rounds per minute. By the way, push up here again. Good. Penguin can't allow him just to get focused on the centre. He sort of hit the flanks as well. Pushing left flank, but he's now allowing the east flank to be taken there by Fortune's troops. Flam Panther moving up the centre, and Bakedma ready to halt Rifleman flanking in. Could try and get off now to tank Rifleman, but no sign of that. Of course, moving straight into the Rifleman there with the BAR. There we go, Vetchi 3. Also got grenades up now. That does help. That means smoke screen could sort of limit here the flammets and the lights. But also just regular grenades there as the infantry. And there we go, Force is falling to the Rifleman with the BAR. Still hunting up, he clearing up the Kednev. Could get the pack out as well. There we go. German assault continues. Forwards. And there we go, quick final grenade return there. Still need to fall back. And there we go, we got the M26 Pershing heavy tank. I'm sure someone's going woo at the moment. Our way the American heavy tank there. Out in the field there with the 90mm gun. Rolling forward, they're still up on its beat. A very hasty retreat there. And the Flam Panther hetzer there also decides he's got better places to be than options. He's got nothing there to stop the Pershing with. Positive with right from in here. Grenade off here, quickly gets the full gun there. Pershing up support as well. Ooh, veteran defeat as well here. Only just double upgrade. There you go, Pershing moving ahead. Got a really swift turn there on the turret, by the way. Probably sort of one of the swifter, nimbler, heavier tanks in the game. Stuart ready to support. Flam Panther pulling a bit back here. Troops suffering losses. Pershing moves ahead to support here by the Stuart, but no infantry. Oh, they're advancing there. Not a lot worse than to Europe for the Pershings, though. There you go, Flam Panther try. We got. Oh, yeah, he might have just pushed his luck too far. I mean, remember, the Pershing is not that kind of heavy tank. Sure, it's got plenty of heavy armour, but it's not necessarily meant to just slug it out and sort of drive through the heaviest parts of the line. It does have a lot of armour. It also has good range, actually, which means, and you see the Tiger and such, it actually has more range than ammunition. You should have used that and perhaps, you know, the high velocity armour piercing around here, which can, by the way, shoot through terrain, and also has a splash damage attached to it. Oh, wait. He made it out with the Pershing in mostly one piece, though there might be some elements lacking there afterwards. Nothing going on here. Flam Panther being repaired. Troops pushing back. At the same time as all of this is happening, they still have one full squad sort of pushing up the right flank, so well played there. Time though for the mid-game analysis. Current situation, damage-wise, Fortune's ahead. Kills-wise, Penguiners leading ahead there thanks to all the BARs. And again, if you double up that BARs, I'm pretty sure their kill count would be even higher there versus Fortune. Graph-wise, we sort of look at army value. They're actually surprisingly close. We do note there are some times here where, you know, Penguins are a bit leading ahead, but then sort of Fortune sort of slowly hints in some dips there. But now Penguins back and through the race there, thanks to the Pershing, most likely. Territorial control-wise, Penguin sort of mostly lead. The Fortune is sort of edging his way back. Let's look at the current situation again. I really again would say get some more BARs. I mean, get them all upgrade to double BARs. Then perhaps throw some bazookas in the rear echelons. Get them some anti-tank weaponry to help sort of deal with the Flam Panther and whatever else might come from Fortune. Really just double BAR. It really does lot, particularly on veteran 3 rifle, they can become really mean with double BARs. He's got plenty of resources. Otherwise, you know, you could also consider maybe ranges. Or if he really wants to, use some combined arms at the very least. He's not going to upgrade them. I mean, you know, just use as much of the doctrine there, so apply more punishment to Fortune. Otherwise, at this point, he's got the Pershing. You should probably consider soon taking up here, going for the battalion command post, and then supporting the Pershing with some more tanks, you know, Shermans, maybe some Scots or Jackson, just something a bit extra, and not just relying on the Pershing. Otherwise, I don't think that's going to work out too well in the longer run. So that's a little detail there to keep in mind. But again, if you cancel your pull off some attacks using combined arms, I think could do a lot of damage there to Fortune. Mine's going down there by the way, good, and of course more pressure on the right flank. You know, wants to spread out Fortune as much as possible. For Fortune, you know, spend some of that fuel maybe. I'm not saying another Flam hetzer there. I don't think that's going to be a good idea. I mean, one option is to basically get the spare panzer quarters up, then rush for a Panther, trade much fuel, but then again you could also try and rush for the King Tiger, though that's a lot more risky, and I think the Panther's going to be a bit better there. I mean, with all the rockets he's got anyways, he can probably, as long as he doesn't make any mistakes or Penguin becomes too clever, you know, manage until he gets some kind of armor up. But, you know, he still needs to be careful there, because a well-executed assault there from Penguin could clear out of his anti-tank weapons. Certainly not to take that Pershing lightly. Of course, all the riflemen again. If Penguin does something clever, using his infantry, I mean, again, we could see Fortune's forces quickly collapsing. So it's, I mean, it could go either way easily. It really depends on what sort of direction either player goes for, and sort of, you know, what kind of mistakes he could end up making, and of course how then the other player reacts to that mistake. So let's return to the fight and see what happens next here. Pershing being further pulled back. Of course, now we've got a slightly more interesting dilemma here for the Americans, since the Pershing can't self-repair, which does mean they have to sort of provide other units to actually repair the thing. It's also really close there to Veteran 1, which means actually it gets faster. Alright, Fox moving up here. Go straight into the mine. Packhouse are firing in. Flamheads are setting up once more for Deutschland. It was actually quite common for sort of, you know, vehicles sort of slap bits of the equipment down the side so they help absorb damage and the likes. Go around the corner with the Flampets. Unit wiped out. Looks like the Foxgunners there met a very grisly demise up north. They just lined up almost and just gunned down there by the rifle of the BRs. Possibly Fortune forgot them either way. That was some pretty easy killing there for Penguin's men. Flampets continue to advance though. Packhouse exposed. Anti-tanker needs to set up. Quick, quick. Armor piercing rounds as well, perhaps. Lots of fire going in there. Second shot there missed. Getting burned there slowly by the Flamheads' fire. It's incendiary load, and there you go. Grenades up against the Fulton. Almost got them wiped. Almost got them wiped. There's still minor retreat path. Oh, wiped. Pershing continues through the fire left behind by the Flamheads. Good shot there. Almost Veteran 1 there. Fox rifleman up in a pretty bad percent versus the Flamheads. Getting burned slowly alive. That means we basically sort of shoot more at a time. Looks a bit back there. Pershing, I think, could have pushed a bit further forward, but looks like here Penguin is being a bit more cautious now around Fortune. Troops being over here. We've got Veteran 3 still on Pioneers, although close to Veteran 3. Getting that Flam Panzer repaired. Also, going to play back on the fire from the Pershing, which again can't shoot far. And Leighton's infantry is doing what he can to keep the Americans' heads down. He's still got plenty of munitions up. Again, a bit surprised he's not double upgrading the riflemen and not spending the munitions something else except, you know, the occasional mine. I mean, he could use his doctrinal ability. Like, again, I think combined arms could do well if he uses it properly, or, you know, maybe some smoke, or get some Rangers with some Thompsons. I mean, that could really also give him quite a punch there. But there you go, grenades still going off. So, I mean, it's not like the munitions are completely inert, but I do think they're doing more with it. There we go, Veterans 1 the Pershing. Veterans 1. So they're taking hits. And there you go. Damaged engine. Pershing moving in there. This could be it. This could be it for the Flampanzer. 9 Schwerpanzer quarters going up like Kedmer for supporting, but it's not going to knock Kazuga. Shots fired. Go through the 60mm of frontal armor. And there we go. Pershing is... Oh, Flamheads is down. Pershing's still there. That might have been wishful thinking from my side. Pershing is still there, though it's getting close there. Low on health, low on health. No, he doesn't have quite the same health as other heavy tanks. Looks like the Germans had to kill themselves another anti-tank weapon, or perhaps as we can. Pershing barely makes it out there. Halfway to Veteran 2, though. Needs to pull further back here. Back into the base there, Penguin. Back into the base. Rather than pushing back anti-tank into pure, the rifle should be able to clear it out. If they had double BARs, perhaps. It looks like they don't still. Oh, that was damn close there. Stuart hasn't been doing anything. He really probably should be doing more with it, to be honest, there against the Fortune. Probably doing much. And if anti-tank, they were captured by the riflemen. Troops doing that and forth. We got here the Schwerpanzer at quarters. He could go for some Obersladen. Panzer 4, he could try with another replacement. Flampanzer. I do think at this point you could do training for fuel here to get more out of that. You might there grab the anti-tank, but it's a bit too late, not enough support. You got sort of a lot of German infantry moving in, swarming with fire and bullets and artillery fire. We got more up there to cover though. We got the Packhouse ready to respond in kind. Penguin Bar probably should consider maybe some extra rear sensor repair, but really he should get up some supporting armor there for the Pershing. That would really do him good here versus Fortune, and certainly give him more of an armor advantage. We got the rocket barrage here now as well, ready to support Fortune's efforts. And there we go, taking up. Wonderful, wonderful. Quick push in as the Schwerpanzer's quarters go covering the cut-off point, but there's still other points to be struck. As for example here and here, of course, draining the victory points up further for Fortune would be a good choice there, I think. And of course, you could always just lay down some more mines across the field. I think the east is actually unsurprisingly little mined. Halfway done with the armour. Come on, grab some more BARs, get some ranges. Just do something with those resources, Penguin. Do something.
Send your orders.
There we go. Pershing's soon ready to fight again. We're attempting mines there. Got the shield pioneers once more pushing the assault here. One halfway to Vetri 4 and almost Vetri 3. Captain supporting, and the captain's acting surprisingly able to keep himself alive. But the unit, more specifically, I'm pretty sure the captain always ends up dying horribly several times over. More mines. Good. Pershing should push out, so should the steward. Support the Pershing, support the Pershing.
Enemy forces have 300
Come on, Penguin, don't forget your other bits. Got a Sherman in the way.
We're losing a capture point.
But free fire, Penguin, free fire. You're just allowing the Germans free fire on you. There we go, good hit. Stone Pioneers moving out.
Crowds are snipping around our asses. Tactical point.
Pershing not far, but the folks are still close to Vetri 2. Rocket strike in.
We lost a gun crew. Our supply line is cut.
Got the pack carriage, that was it. I'm not entirely sure that was worth 200 munitions there for Fortune, but I guess he doesn't have to worry about that anymore. Nothing further here though from Fortune. He's flooding up a lot of resources. I'm guessing he's maybe planning for the King Time. He's flooding resources, but well, getting some fuel there, but get some orbitals on in the meanwhile at the very least. There you go, straight attack here, but right into the Raketten efforts. Get out of there! Lay down some smoke! Lay down some smoke! Save yourself, smoke! You got the...
Sherman ready.
Ah! If he just laid down the smoke! Ah! I guess it's not quite quantum. Of course, this is the first day, more or less, with the new doctrines. Of course, mistakes like these are going to be... You are going to have to get acquainted with the doctrine, but... If he just laid down the smoke, he could have saved that Vetri 2 Pershing. A tragic loss right there for America. All the way back, got some orbs on the way for Fortune. Sherman setting up there. Penguin maybe wants to consider getting up some fuel casualty. Well, he's got both fuel points for, well, half a minute there. So I mean, it's not going to be too far from perhaps getting another Pershing. But on the other hand, the problem is Fortune spinning up there for the Königssieger, the Tiger 2. Good grenade there. Sherman setting up the high close round prepared. Still finding a lot of trouble. There go grenades off through the air. Concussive grenades return there, and Rifleman stunned. Sherman doing what he can. Almost got the Steel Pioneers right. There we go. There's your 3 Steel Pioneers. We've got the Raketten method opening up there. Another one joining in there. Sherman quickly pushed away there with heavy damage. Stewart is surprisingly passive. I do think Penguin could be doing a lot more damage to Fortune if he sort of pushed a bit more. Kemmer falling back, and there we go. Sherman knocked out there. He pushed a bit too far there. He should have pulled it back for repairs. He should have pushed in anything. He should have been a Stewart, but no, that never quite happened. And a part of me also thinks he should have just switched out the crews between the two so the Sherman would have a bit more experience to start with. But well, use the Stewart, Penguin. Use the Stewart. Orbis advancing up there. You've got light machine gun being handed away to these more elite troops. Close advancing as well. Pack cards ready as well soon. Replacement on there for the German rocket strike, which unceremoniously blew it to bits. Orbis landing what they can there for the fatherland, supporting their folks, kind of their comrades, and there we go, just mowing down those armies with some machine gun gewehr. Come on, Helmut, vorwärts! We need to clear out this American scum. Smell like bad cologne. Und freedom. I hate the taste and smell of that. And it's capturing up against the Obersoldaten. There we go, gunning them down though. Captain is no effort here, SMD. And he's finally getting some Rangers. Finally some Rangers there. Thompson's on the way. Looks like some Ranger battalion has been sort of dispatched in support. Equipped by the upgrade besides the Thompson with, either bazookas or BARs. A single, that is. Oh, let's do it there. Oh, knocked out. Now things seem to be slightly falling further back. I mean, he's still got most of the map control here, but at the same time, though, Penguin is beginning to take higher loss here to Fortune. We're still flying a lot of manpower. I mean, he's going for another Oberstland squad before you even get a King Tiger who wants to say some more Storm Pioneers. I mean, more Storm Pioneers to support his King Tiger would be a pretty good move. Other Rangers are advancing. Sees assault troops with a more elite kind. There we go. Thompson's out. Getting those forces. There we go. Good hit. Good hit. Storm Pioneers are closing it in C4. Rangers running straight into them. Should get off a grenade. Should get off a grenade. And they're almost veteran C1 already. So they get a concussive grenade then trained from the Storm Pioneers. They're having none of that American shite. You called that a grenade? This is a grenade. I think actually says it's better, Dieter. Shut up! Whose side are you on anyways? Nothing further here from me. Clearly now setting up for the person after lost all of his other armour. There ain't some perhaps not quite so well calculated decisions. Either way, Fortune in a moment there can actually get up the King Tiger. Fuel-wise, so he's still struggling. He's doing his best. I think he could have pushed harder for the eastern side as well there. Deployed some more full grenades. Or maybe an extra Obersoldaten unit, either way. King Tiger now available here for the fatherland. Of course, question is maybe Panther 4 or Panther could have gone just as well by now. But Fortune, you know, wants to do this properly. Of course, he might also be aiming here for the shock effect, you know. Good lord, that's a King Tiger. I think we might be in trouble. Concerning the psychological effect should never be underestimated either. Rather than being pushed back though by the Obersoldaten halfway to C2. Of course, there is Rifle so far doing alright there. Has he? Yes, finally upgraded with the double BARs. Took him long enough. We've only done that soon. We've got Rifle with the bazooka as well, so it looks like he's further upgrading his men overall. Looks like he hasn't fully upgraded the Rangers though. Again, could add a bit of extra weapon. Rifle needs to go away before the Falcon Lightning, but there we go. Rangers moving in, cutting them down there with the Thompson submachine guns. And Veteran G1, allowing them to sort of basically have lower cooldowns. Which basically think is actually it for the Rangers at Veteran G1. More Stormhunters on the way there, but they have to wait for the King Tiger to arrive first. Orbsland doing what they can there for the fatherland. Penguin is very close to the Pershing tank, but so is Fortune to the King Tiger. Quick grenade there, and oh, good work there. But ultimately, the Riflemen too low on health versus the Obersoldaten who are quickly supported by the Storm Pioneers, who are veterans C4, not to be taken lightly there. Rangers moving in. Quick go for grenade return there. Obersoldaten will be supporting. There we go, grenade off. Oh, grenade return again. Works out quite nicely. They got the Rangers halt, and there we go. King Tiger arrives to support here, the 17th SS. But at the same time, Penguin can call up the Pershing. Hoorah. Something like that, I don't know. Of course, if he's going to try and slide up with the King Tiger, he's going to lose. He's going to basically sort of have to try and flank about it, which, considering the sort of current support force here for Fortune, is going to be a bit tricky. He could still pull it off if he utilises his infantry properly and maybe utilise a bit of off-map smoke here to help deal with some of the elements that could be supporting the King Tiger. Alright, King Tiger rolls through the ruined streets. First shot misses or bounces there against the Pershing frontal armour. Pershing still got the range advantage as the King Tiger. The King Tiger unrelentingly pushes forwards. There we go, first shot there. Both shots to penetrate. Oh, those are taking heavy losses. Looks like some good hits there from the pack counter. The King Tiger actually pulls back here for the time being. Rather than advancing there straight into the King Tiger. Go. Rather than fire from the Storm Pioneers, advancing quite steadily forwards. Anti-tank rifle against the King Tiger's frontal armour. Fails to make much pressure. Oh! Storm was almost wiped out. Pershing advances again. Anti-tank guns. Kednev sort of up. He's good. Barweg use armour piercing rounds on the anti-tank, and otherwise he's going to have a low chance of finishing the King Tiger's frontal armour. Also moving up there, rather than pinned to the ground. Almost like Pershing there, shoots, bounces, there you go, taking hits with the King Tiger. Kednev's nearby. We got two of the veterans fleeing. There you go, King Tiger scores the kill. Pershing down. And now the King Tiger advances, supported by the orbital Dardan, gunning down what remains of the American armed resistance from Penguin. GG, it seems to get there. Fortune feeling pretty confident there. Shot actually managed to penetrate there from the pack howitzer, that's impressive. And now apparently this is a misunderstanding, by the way. There are some players who are currently impersonating others, and in some cases being pretty rude while doing so. This is not the case. So this is the actual Finnish Fortune, not the counterfeit Spanish Fortune or Mexican one, but you know, go figure. Yeah, just ignore that. That's just Penguin, you know, being indignant at what he thinks is a you know, guy pretending to be Fortune. Just going to speed past that. Either way, though, Fortune, you know, managed to pull through, though it's rather close there. Rather close. I mean, overall, well played by both. I do think, again, A, Penguin should use his munitions a bit more better. You know, again, he should have double upgraded with the BARs as soon as possible. I think he would have done a lot more with that, and I should have probably had more reasons to help repair the Pershing, you know, had them also equipped with bazookas that give him more overall anti-tank fire then, versus Fortune, he could also push a bit more here, and I think overall in the longer run he also just became negligent about laying down mines. I think they could also give, you know, Penguin a bit more there, plus maybe using some of his abilities, in particular with the first Pershing. I think a good smoke here would have saved his Pershing there, allowed him to keep up on the fighting, and perhaps could have seen, you know, Fortune taken down. Fortune, in the hand, was a bit too focused in the centre at times, could have pushed more on the right hand side himself. I think he should have gone for the share punch at quarters faster. The mechanized weapon overall just didn't feel like it was going anywhere, at least initially, and I probably would have done better with that with some more orbital initially, at least in my perspective. And certainly the King Tiger was perhaps a bit overkill, though it certainly did the trick in the end. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this new first match here with the new patch. I hope you enjoyed the sight. They have the Flumheads, so the Pershing, the Rangers and such. Of course, we'll probably see more players doing more with them down the road and hopefully getting on some really exciting stuff. But I think this was a pretty decent new first match here, showing off the new stuff. So, you know, if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already. You know, feel free to press like, since it allows more people to view it, which is good for me. And of course, you know, share it with your friends, families, perhaps not your enemies, but you know, everybody else. And of course, if you like, you know, you can also send you on your replays. You can send it into email down in the video description, and of course also as always provide comments in the comment section. So thank you all for joining in. I hope to see you all tomorrow. This is Imperial Dane signing off. Bye.